Hello, my name is Matthew Steinke and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, I review movies because that's what I do best, and today I am so blessed to be able to talk to you guys about a film called Jojo Rabbit. Now, Jojo Rabbit was directed by Taika Waititi and stars Roman Griffin Davis, Thomasin McKenzie, Scarlett Johansson, Sam Rockwell, Rebel Wilson, and Taika Waititi. The plot revolves around a young German boy named Jojo who struggles to fully accept his loyalty to the Nazi regime after he finds a Jewish girl has taken solace in his attic. Alright, let's get into the positives on this film. The direction. The direction in this film is wonderful, with fantastic scenes, fantastic scene direction, a steady tone, a spectacular sense of acting, and a spectacular sense of awareness for where the storyline is headed and the actors in different scenes. The editing is crisp, with it never taking away of any of the emotions that the film conjures up, and instead mostly puts them on show. It showcases them. The acting is amazing, with, like I said, Roman Griffin Davis and Thomasin McKenzie both being actors we should keep an eye on. The screenplay expertly balances comedy with a wonderful and thought-provoking sense of heart, with the comedy never taking away from the real, important message that the film has beneath the surface. And the comedy is unabashedly funny, while also making us question what is happening in the comedy itself, making for an experience that is necessarily uncomfortable, but never unbearable in any sense of the word. The soundtrack is perfect in capturing that sense of childlike innocence, while also including some songs that, while have a good beat, make you question what it means lyrically and ask important questions. The message is splendidly done and is well crafted, never going off course. It makes itself known in an excellently subtle and obviously an expected unsubtle manner. For the first time, I think, in one of my reviews, I don't really have any negatives with a film that has been newly released into theaters. I don't know if it's showing in theaters now. I might have seen it at a time where it was only showing for 1 week. If it is, go check it out. But I don't think I have any negatives with this film. There was only one time that I was in the theater and I was sitting there and I saw a scene and I went, that was a little weird. But I don't think one time should take away from the overall experience of the film. And it didn't even last for that long. It just lasted for a second. And the scene was based in comedy and I didn't think it was funny. So that's not a jab against the film at all. It was just kind of weird for my preference. So it doesn't have anything to do with the actual quality of the film. It's just a personal opinion on my part. But that's the only negative that I can even find for this film, and it's not even a negative. So for the first time, there are officially no negatives in this film. Alright, let's jump right into the conclusion. Many of you might have not even heard of this film. It's possibly been overshadowed this year by a myriad of other films deemed culturally relevant and of a major societal importance. But to me, there is possibly no other film this year more important than Jojo Rabbit. I've seen many people simply not even give it a chance due to its subject matter. Some people are quite conservative when it comes to World War II jokes, and I understand. Personally, I've never really enjoyed many of them unless they're done well. But I was laughing throughout this whole film. And the reason for that boils down to this. We aren't laughing along with the Third Reich, we're laughing at it. But we aren't lackadaisically laughing at it without recognizing how truly horrible it was. We're making fun of how stupid it was, but still paying respect to the tragedies that it caused. We're shown the innate silliness of the entire regime and all its unnecessary details. In the end, though, it never fails to remind us that even if the concept in and of itself is insane and stupid, these people were not some silly piece of culture. They were monsters, and as the film goes on, that becomes more and more apparent. But through Waititi's masterful direction, we're slowly eased into the truth just like Jojo is. Carefully and delicately, our view of them changes along with Jojo's, even if we as the audience already knew going in that these people were not inherently good. We find imaginary Hitler to be a funny character, constantly wisecracking and joking. He's the imagined version of Adolf Hitler in the head of a 10-year-old boy. And the things that he says are purposefully ignorant, reflecting Jojo as a character himself, since it's in his imagination. But it's not like Jojo has all the information about Hitler like we do, and is simply ignoring it. He's learning throughout the film how truly horrible the thing he idolizes is, and we, even though we're aware of how horrible it is in real life, are still affected by it, maybe even drawing comparisons to things in our lives which we think are helping, but may not be. The film is a satire akin to Mel Brooks or Charlie Chaplin. It's an example I will always give to contradict when people say satire is dying. Its comedy is clever, hilarious, and surprisingly eye-opening, making me actually think about what the meaning of the joke was after laughing at it. And to me, that's the ultimate way to keep the audience interested and engaged, giving them questions to ponder while they're laughing. The best way to transfer a message and a meaning is through laughter, because it's one that keeps us focused on the screen. So laughter is the best tool to make a point, and I think Taika knows this. There are moments where Waititi's direction reminds me of a director who's had years of influence and experience, and is a master. He creates callbacks and juxtapositions that are clever and poignant, while some of them being so emotionally powerful it's inspiring. The material, while played with comedy, is absolutely treated with respect. Unlike some other movies this year that apparently have a message, this film actually has one, and the people making it cared deeply about it and made sure to get it across in the best way. There are silent scenes of pure tranquility and natural beauty that come immediately after scenes of rambunctious comedy, and surprisingly it not only works, it seems like it wouldn't work without the other. Just like how a film that balances two different genres should do. You should make us feel like if one was missing, the other one wouldn't work. That's how you know that it's a film that cleverly does satire with a serious subject, if it fits well into it. They're not treating World War II like a joke. They're treating the bad people in World War II like a joke. And I know that sounds juvenile saying bad people, but I'm just trying to get it across to some people in the best way without using big terms. These people are not condoning the Nazi regime. They're making fun of it while also respecting the tragedy that came out of it. So don't come in the comments and say, this film was offensive. It's not offensive. It knows what it's doing. You just don't understand what it's doing. It's a satire. It's not saying that World War II is a big joke. It's simply playing on the aspects of World War II that they find stupid and inherently dumb. I mean, the Nazi regime, if we look at it, was stupid. That doesn't mean that it didn't do anything horrible. It did horrible things. But we're not laughing at the horrible things it did. We're laughing at how stupid the concept of it is. They keep it respectful. They never treat it disrespectfully at all. It seems like it wouldn't work, like I said, without the other genre. Just like life, we experience horribly negative moments, but after them we experience beautifully positive ones that make the negative ones not only bearable, but necessary. The characters are relatable and likable, with even Jojo reminding us what it feels like to be morally confused, constantly trying to find that righteous balance in our lives. His blissful childhood ignorance not only brings comedy, but further accentuates the validity of the points Waititi makes in this film. The script is almost perfect, with only a few scenes being off, like I said. Well, not a few, just that one. Just that one scene I felt was a little off for my taste. Nothing really offensive happens in this film at all. I just didn't think the joke was that funny. But that's not going to take away from my score on this film whatsoever. Overall, it's a script I hope to get my hands on one day, and I can no doubt say that it will be one I read regularly for inspiration. The balance those two genres find is amazing and basically perfect, with this truly being one of the best films to ever blend comedy and drama of all time, with both genres somewhat blending into one another in their specific, separate moments on screen. The cinematography is luscious and fully represents the beauty and the sense of dread it must have felt like upon living in that time. It has scenes of drawn-out tension, comedy, and emotional weight that always work, never truly ever being confined to one emotion. The scenes that have those things have different emotions inside of them, and it's not like it only works with one emotion, it works with any kind of emotion, and that's what makes this movie so good. The wide shots are gorgeous, and the close-ups are unique, with the film taking a cue from Wes Anderson without feeling like it's stealing from it. Instead, it's adding to the whimsical sense of childhood, merging into adulthood, as we see highly stylistic shots containing scenes of great seriousness. Some shots are just so well executed that I found myself really feeling the emotions that the movie wanted us to feel in those scenes. There are scenes in which, okay, I know that it's not quote-unquote manly to admit, but I won't lie to you guys, I trust you guys. There were some pretty emotional scenes. I might have even had some tears welled up in my eyes. Just maybe, though. I'm not saying that I did. I did. I almost cried. With one scene that contains some of the best child acting I've seen in a while from Mr. Roman Griffin Davis. It's heart-wrenching and heartwarming all at once, perfectly representing the fantastical realism this film contains. There's a scene that was so beautifully paired against operatic music, with slow-motion shots framed like a painting and a poignant realization from Jojo as a character, that it gave me chills. And not, ooh, it's cold in here chills. I mean full chills. The kind that run all up and down your body and may leave an impact. The theater wasn't cold, and I got chills like I'd spent 5 years in a diner freezer. That's how good the chills were. I mean, it was literal chills. It was just like that. I haven't gotten chills like that in a while. It was so harsh, stylish, and really made me think about war differently as a whole. We're so used to films being artsy without any purpose, and this film is artsy, but it's got the purpose to deserve the artistic flair. The portrayal of war is shown in the most destructive light I've ever seen on film, and I've seen plenty of R-rated war films in my time. And for a PG-13 film to offer more meaning and thoughts to a subject like war is not only inspiring, it makes me wonder why it hasn't been done before. Almost everything about this film is perfect, and if you take one thing away from this film when you leave, take its message. It's a message that tells us that no one's perfect, but we're all human in the end, and we make mistakes. We struggle and feel pity, but in the end we must show our gratitude, because life's a gift, and in the end we don't deserve the beauty it contains, but through an act of love, we obtained it, and we simply can't waste it. We must push through the hardest of times to get to the best of them. I really think that that's a beautiful message. I hate to get all corny, I hate to get all sentimental, oh, that's such a beautiful message. It is. It's a really nice, wholesome, beautiful message. And I don't know about you, but I haven't heard a message like that said in a long time, and in a film where it's done so well. We get cookie cutter afternoon special messages all the time in kids' films. We get them like every day in every kids' film. Be nice to people, be friends with people, no, blah, 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 blah. And they're not done well, so they don't leave an impact. But this film does this message so much truth and justice that you feel it and you believe it upon leaving the theater. That's how you know a film has a good message, when you feel like you want to do it after you leave the theater, when you feel like you want to be a better person, when you feel like you want to be a better human being when you leave the theater. That's how you know a message hit. And this film does that really, really well. And I haven't left the theater feeling like I wanted to be a better person a long time, and I left the theater feeling like I wanted to be a better person after I saw Jojo Rabbit. That's how good this movie is. I mean, not only to not have this message all the time, but to have this message and in a film, like I said, where it's done so well, is not only a feat of great importance, it's a blessing. Most of the time we leave the theater depressed and hopeless after watching these dark films because we expect to see art. Good acting, cinematography, set decor, costumes, etc., I hate to tell you this, but are absolutely pointless and worthless without a message to support it. The film could look nice, the film could have good shots, the film could be stylish, the film could have great acting, but if I don't leave feeling anything besides sad or lonely or depressed or isolated, I'm not going to remember the movie. I'm not going to want to watch the movie. And you're not an artsy film, and you're not an intelligent film, and you're not a, world-changing film because it's so dark, look how gritty and real it is. You're not that. If you are a depressing movie, there's got to be some hope somewhere in depressing movies. Now, not to say that not all depressing movies aren't good. Schindler's List is a very sad movie, but it also has hope in it, and that's what makes it such a good movie. Most of the best movies of all time, scratch that, not most, all the best movies of all time have hope in them. There is hope somewhere that things can get better. That's what I believe in. I believe I'm not going to like a movie unless it has hope somewhere. And this movie absolutely believes in hope. And that's why I love this movie. You can call me biased, you can call me whatever you want, but I want to leave a movie theater feeling good. And I've seen so many movies, and I've immersed myself in so many movies over time that have been artsy and Oscar movies, and I just leave feeling like crap after I watch them. And I really feel better, and I like movies more when I leave the theater feeling good. And this is the film that cements that ideology for me. When I leave the theater, I want to feel good. I don't want to feel like crap. I don't want to feel like a horrible person. The film may tell us that we as humans are not doing so well, but we're not going to change anything if there's no hope. And this is a film that tells us, yeah, we're humans. We make mistakes. We mess up. It's in our DNA. But there's a good reason to change, and we can change. And that's when I want to change, when something gives me hope by telling me that I can be a better person and change. And that's what this movie does. I mean, if more films were made with the passion and care that Jojo Rabbit was made with, we would all feel a little bit better leaving the cinema. But I know that there are some of you out there that absolutely don't care about this. And it doesn't mean you're an immoral person, and it doesn't mean that you're a horrible person, and you're not going to go beat up a bunch of people because you don't leave Jojo Rabbit feeling good. I know some of you just probably don't like that, and you want to see the movies as an escapism tactic, and just to go chill in a theater for 2 hours and have fun. And that's not bad at all. I can agree with you guys sometimes. There are some movies where I know I'm not going to leave changed, but I'm not going to leave depressed either, and so you just sit there and you have fun. I get that. So if you're not really a person who likes to think about movies and you don't like philosophical points, and that doesn't interest you, I want to remind you once again that this film is funny, and it's really a delight to watch. It's a loving film, and we never feel horrible after watching it. We may be challenged, but we never feel sick, and that's all due to Waititi's masterful direction. This is a really funny film, and if you're going to have fun, you're going to have fun. I think it's a crowd pleaser, honestly. It's just made for every single person on Earth. And if you make a film and that's what ends up, you've basically made a really good movie. And that's what Jojo Rabbit is, a really good movie. It should win Oscars, and by its current track record, I can see that goal in the near horizon. I at least hope I hope Waititi gets nominated for Best Director, because I think he deserves that. And in the end, just like the movie tells us, all we really have is hope. And if I know one thing upon leaving the theater, it's that I know hope exists. And it's more important now than ever. And if a film like Jojo Rabbit can not only give us that hope, but support it by spreading the message to a PG-13 level audience, that's almost better than any award it could ever receive, because it's an award in and of itself. Taika Waititi is definitely a director I hope gets more recognition. I am comfortable with calling this film a masterpiece. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Alright, guys, I think it is official. In the history of my channel, this is the first film that has come out in theaters right now that I'm labeling a masterpiece. And with the label of masterpiece comes the inevitable rating. That's correct. 5 out of 5. This film is a masterpiece. I love it so much. If you guys get a chance to watch it in the theaters, please go support it. It deserves your support. It's a really good movie. I promise you, any person who finds themselves sad or finds themselves in a bad mood, you're going to leave the theater and you're going to leave with your faith restored in humanity. And even if you go, oh, my life's horrible, my life's sad, my life doesn't matter, you're going to leave feeling good. I promise you. I was having a rough week, and when I saw it, it really brought my hopes up. It's a really good movie. I implore you guys to go watch it, because I really think it'll do you some good, and I think it'll do the world some good. It's a great movie. Alright guys, more reviews coming. Sorry I've been out for a little bit. I've just been doing some personal stuff, but I will get right back on track with movies. I got a lot of movies lined up for this Thanksgiving week, so don't let me get off track. Alright guys, thank you so much for all of the advice on how the channel's going and all of the feedback. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me. As always, go watch movies, and make sure to check out Jojo Rabbit in theaters. It's a masterpiece. Alright, bye-bye.